Hey everybody, and my name is the Crystal Manta, and welcome back to the Zoodyssey Planet Zoo build series. In this episode, we are going to continue working on the kind of visitor center area. Sorry for the lack of a video last week. I was on vacation in Tennessee. Went to Gatlinburg. That was pretty fun. Went to the Knoxville Zoo in Knoxville, Tennessee, and maybe got some ideas from there. So we'll see what happens. But right now, we're just gonna kind of keep working on this visitor center. I hope we're gonna get it done today. Oh, and there goes my phone again, not silenced, because I'm a stupid. Gotta turn that off. Anyway, here we are. We're working on some light fixtures. Trying to get them to look nice. They are. They're definitely kind of I'm just kind of messing around. I didn't have an idea with what I wanted them to look like. So that's why it looks kind of weird and haphazard and whatnot. I'm just kind of putting something that kind of looks interesting. I wanted to use these chain pieces. I ended up using them because I've never actually used them before. I'm just checking to make sure that they don't pop out of the roof. But I've never actually used them before, and I just kind of wanted to see what they looked like. I wanted to be able to say, yeah, I've used those before. Rotating was kind of weird, but I managed to get it to work. Now we have a little light fixture here. Go ahead and put some of those lights there. At first I just had that ceiling light just kind of hanging there, but I wanted to design a light fixture that would be a bit more interesting. And then I put them in all four corners, obviously. Put one right there. Like I said, we do finish the visitor center in this episode. Next episode, we will be finishing up the... next episode, the plan is to do a restaurant. And then after the restaurant episode, we should be good to do an exhibit. I think we'll start with I want to say the terrarium that we had last episode. Or not last episode, but the last time we tried to build this. So that'll be our first exhibit. So right now, I'm just kind of going around and just adding some of these fake trees. These are mods, actually. So this zoo will not be going up on the Steam Workshop because it uses mods, and if you download a Steam Workshop item that has mods and you don't have it installed, it can break your game. But I downloaded these rocks. I forgot who made them. I will put the description. I'll put the link to the mod in the video description. But they are like these fake artificial trees and rocks. We got some in the aquatic pack, but some modders made like more of them with more interesting designs, I guess I would say. So I decided I would put some around just to kind of make the place look a bit more nature-y. I think it looks really cool. I think it comes out looking really nice. Now I'm just put some plants around, like, oh, these trees are flowering. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it look kind of interesting and not boring. And I think it ends up looking rather nice. Alright, so now that we've put some plantage there, we're gonna start on the second level. This is going to be kind of where you come out of the visitor center. And we're gonna have a lot of cool plants up here. It's gonna look really, really nice. We're also going to have some bathrooms up here. Just kind of this is the last place to go before you enter the actual zoo and whatnot. Before you enter the true hub of the worldly woods, not worlding woods. Now we're just adding more walls. I decided, like before, I'm just going to kind of mix up the wall types, just because it's a bit more interesting, I think. We are going to have a high ceiling in this room. I do start to work on a ceiling design with like the hexagonal plates, like the weird glass hexagonal panes that we have, but it just didn't end up looking right or meshing well with the other building pieces, so I end up not doing that. We'll get to that. It's basically kind of a big portion of the build that is a waste of time because I end up not using it. I may try to reuse the idea. You'll see when we get to it. I'm not going to spoil everything for you. And I was going to continue with the wooden things up there, but I decided I'd have it a little natural light. Come in through the wall here with these little glass windows. I realized that I accidentally put these on backwards, and I have to delete them and rotate them and whatnot. Alright, so now we're just kind of finishing this little wall here. We're going to finish this little... It's kind of a little hallway between the main entry room and the whatnot. The big... We're going to have kind of a greenhouse kind of view, kind of style in this room. I wish I could say my words correctly. But kind of a greenhouse, not vineyard, that's not there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of ivy. You'll see what I mean. I keep talking about things that are too far ahead in the video. So right now we're just kind of blocking off view of the top of the gift shop from this outer area. So I realized when I put those kind of tan wooden walls up, it ended up kind of creating, because of the way the weird wall merging works, those light colored wooden walls kind of made those little divots. Little divots in the green walls. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. And it was not doing what I wanted it to do. So I put those columns there. Now we're just doing this here. Gonna go put some glass walls here. We don't really do anything with these glass walls. I just let it look kind of nice. And we got some bathrooms up here on either side. Be like, hey, here's your first chance to use the bathroom if you need to. You should do it, probably. And we put that there, and I think okay, here we're starting with this hexagon glass pane roof that does not work at all. I wanted to do something with these glass panes to make like a big archway. And I like the idea of it, and then I'll probably come back to it later. But I couldn't get it to work here. Maybe I'll try it with a dome of some kind. It just wasn't doing well with the archway. Kind of a big arching roof the way I wanted it to do. So I'll come back to that at some point. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to comment. But it just wasn't working out the way I would have liked it to. I'm just not good at, like, meeting the edges together the way you're supposed to. It's just tricky for me. I know some people are able to do it, and that's why they even have these pieces to begin with. I am not one of those people who is good at it. But I'll watch some tutorials and I'll practice and whatnot off camera. And then we will have a nice little hexagon geodesic sphere dome thing. And it will be good and all will be well, yes. So I do spend kind of a lot of time trying to get this to work. And it looks alright. It's only when we like try to... I wish they had like half hexagons, like trapezoid pieces. Because it's really only starts to fail when we get to like the top of the wall where the hexagons would meet. Because the ones that are just touching the edge of it, like the one I first put down is fine. But then you have like this middle row that I'm doing kind of, where they would be lower and it would just kind of like weirdly intersect with the wall. And the fact that I'm doing kind of a... I mean, it's got a rounded corner, but basically a rectangular building does not lend itself very well to that kind of thing. It's better for a dome. Because then you have to like line it up with other building pieces that aren't as flexible as this one, like just like the slanted roofs, and it just looks weird. You'll kind of see what I mean when I start to make the rest of the roof. It doesn't work as well as I would like it to. And then I had this issue where the way everything was kind of tilted, it just wasn't working properly. These pieces are just really finicky, I think. You gotta be real spot on when you're using them. They require a lot of practice, unfortunately. So now I'm trying to use these like corrugated cardboard roofs to kind of fill in the rest of it, but it kind of like intersects weird with everything. And it doesn't look good. It looks slapped together, which I guess technically it kind of was. Yeah, it kind of was, let's be fair. So I ended up not using this hex glass pane, not hex plane. I use it. Bleh, man, I'm terrible at commentary. I end up not using this design just because it doesn't look very good. Like, you can see those glass hexagons are just kind of like... I try to cover them up with these extra pieces here, so they're not visible from the sky. Just like this, so it's not as weird looking. But it's weird looking from the bottom, and there's not really a way I can fix that. Like that, like from the top there, that's weird. So I think this is the point at which I decide, yeah, this is not working out the way I wanted it to. So I ended up doing something that is arguably kind of cooler. I don't know, I think it ended up looking nice. It's kind of a multi-level roof that technically keeps the rain in, but there's technically not a full roof. Where I use these different layered arches. I used them before in one of my private builds, and I thought it just looked really cool. You can kind of see what I'm going for here. It's kind of like a weird warehouse, like you'd imagine like spinning fans on the top of this. I don't know. I wish we had a spinning fan part. Frontier, if you're listening, that would be really cool. So as you can see, I've got kind of this different shaped roof kind of thing going on. It's kind of weird, but I think it looks nice. Especially once we add like a bunch of flora. Fauna is animals, flora is plants. It ends up looking really cool. Like we're adding these... I'm using these girder pieces. I've never really used them before, because I've never had a good use for them, but I'm going to use them here as kind of these support beams. I don't know what the word I want to use. Just kind of these bars going across that ivy is going to hang down from, and it looks really cool once it's done. And then we grab these and we're just going to copy them to the other similarly sized areas. Then I realized that those parts were sticking out. So I had to fix that. Now we start with this kind of front wall, because I didn't want it to be totally open, so I'm just going to do glass. And it ends up looking pretty cool. Probably will add a bit more to it, some moss kind of climbing up the glass, because I don't think I do that in this video, or in this session of the build. But it's going to look pretty cool once I do it. Don't you worry, it's going to look dope. It almost has like a weird like farm kind of vibe to it, if that makes sense. Like a weird barn. I'm not sure how else to describe it. Just kind of like a weird farm vibe is the best way to describe it. So now we're just adding a little roof here, just kind of, I guess I don't technically need to because guests wouldn't see it, but I kind of want to, so because from above it would look weird. And then I decided to use decided to use these plant beds that I really enjoy using, just so it's not just that weird wooden tile roof and all boring and whatnot. Those windows, I don't put anything over that blue roof because nobody can see inside. Maybe I will later, but I think it's fine for right now. Putting these little eaves on there. So it's not just a complete stop at the front of the roof. And now I'm gonna we work on these kind of fountain waterfall areas. Not fountain, really. I put these grates into the ceiling, into the floor here, just because it kind of looks like a drainage thing. And the same thing with these. You just kind of like sink them into the wall. And it kind of looks like it could be a drainage opening or a grate where water would come out. So I had to find this an interesting way to get the. I want the waterfall mid and top sections to be basically occupying the same space, so I had to figure out a weird way to do that by using the X button. And then I wanted to take this Zoodyssey sign that we have and move it up here too, just to kind of fill in that middle space, make it look a bit less boring. And now I decided to add a sign to the front of the gift shop. I'm calling it the lily pad because it's all frog themed and whatnot. Kind of center that a bit. And then I decided to put some like little signs. I made a little lily pad to go here. And it looks fun. Like that. And I think I put like some little flowers or something on it. Yeah, like that. And then move it over to this side. I thought about putting it up in the top in the middle, but it just didn't look right. Kind of turned it that way for the other side. And then I put this little frog up here. And then made that one yellow. And now we're going to start to do a little work on the inside of the gift shop. Like I said, I wasn't quite done with it. I wanted to put some of these fake trees and rocks kind of just everywhere, just as a decoration. Make it feel a bit more swampy and rainforesty. I wanted to put this big thing here. I decided to put it here with the posters. Like these would be posters you would buy. Like this is the poster cave or something. I don't know. I think it looks cool. It's visible from the outside, but we're going to fix that. Or you're not going to be able to see it once what I've got planned is done. So that's not going to be an issue. Now I'm putting these butterfly lights all around. Just to make it look a bit more tropical. Just kind of putting them every which way and whatnot. Put one up there in the portal cave. For that jump cut, my game crashed and I had to redo everything. Mainly just putting in the fake trees and stuff for and the butterfly lights. But we're good. So I'm going to put all these lights around here. Maybe it's repetitive and boring, but that's how I decided to do it. It's just kind of constant light. And then I realized, oh, I didn't do these walls down here. For the ramps, you could just see the grass down below. And I decided to use these stone walls that I used earlier on in the last video. Just because they kind of look cool. I know they're part of the East Asia set, but you can kind of use them wherever. They're kind of a cool multi-purpose thing like that, where you can just kind of use them wherever you want, it doesn't matter. I like the highly themed pieces, but I also like ones like this that are just kind of very versatile. Like, you could even use this for a North America section. Now we're just adding these bathroom signs. Thought about putting these giant ones, but I decided it looked weird. I'm just going to do these small ones up on the side there, so it lets you know, hey, it's this way. Now I'm putting these lights here. So there's light up here as well. We do end up putting some trees there in that little in those grass patches near the end. Now we get to the ivy. This is my favorite part. I love ivy, as you guys know if you've seen the rest of this series. I can never have enough ivy dripping down everywhere. It just makes everything look so lush and cool. I wish there were more shapes of it. There's only like there's not that many. I wish there were like 30 different types of ivy to choose from, all different shapes and lengths and widths and whatnot. That was a hint to any modders that might be watching. Go ahead and make me some ivy, please. And then I wanted to use these wisteria plants that I've never really used. I think it's wisteria. I never really use them. I used them kind of in the last version of this zoo. I don't remember if that part made it onto the camera, but I tried to use them, and I decided to use them here because they're more hanging plants. And then I put in some plants here that aren't too tall. I don't want anything too huge. Just kind of like some smaller but more exotic plants. I don't want to put anything like boring, like any like oak trees or anything over here. Just be like, oh, these are some weird exotic plants that are going to look cool together. I think it turned out pretty well. We got this cool greenhouse vibe going. I wish we had fans. If there's two things that they could add, like for items and special effects, I wish we had like ceiling fans and maybe like wall fans that animate and make like a little fan noise. I think it'd be good for aesthetics. And then I also wish that we had like those misters that you often see at zoos where it gets hot and they just have like misting fans. I think that would be really cool to just kind of be able to place those. I think it'd also be good for like rainforest areas for creating some ambiance. They have like the mist special effect where it's like a cloud, but that's not really what I'm looking for. I want more like a fan that just kind of blows little mist water at you. Maybe they will give it to me someday, or maybe modders can do it. I don't know if modders can do like special effects yet. I don't know how far away that technology is. So we're just putting these little animal signs down. I did it in one of my previous zoos, and I liked the visual of the silhouettes on these like green and yellow circles. Now we're going to do the back wall here. Going to do it out of metal so you don't see in there from behind, but you are going to be able to see into the gift shop from behind, as you can see from the little window section we did there. It's going to look pretty cool. So now when you're walking on the path, you can kind of spy on the people in the gift shop. That's a weird way to put it, but I guess you technically can. I'm just covering up the green walls so you can't see it from the outside. Not that guests would be able to anyway. Now we're going to have our little... I'm going to use this wall. Just kind of cover up the back here. I think it looks good. Now this long neglected area here in the center, in the front, which we've never done anything with. I'd kind of been holding off on doing something. And I decided I'm just going to do a fountain here. I think it's going to be cool. We're just going to do a fountain and then some flowers around it. I guess it's not too thrilling, but it doesn't really need to be. I just kind of wanted to have something to fill the space here. And the fountains, you know, water always adds nice kinetic motion to things. Is that the right term? It just adds like a little motion so everything's not static. And then I put these tree columns here, and I wanted to, I'm putting these like, they're not Christmas lights. I don't think they're part of the Arctic pack. But they're just kind of like these string lights, and I think they look really nice. And at first I put these orange lights here, but I decided to put these torches here. And then I sink them down in, and I just think it looks really cool. And then I put these stars along the side, and it looks really cool. And I put them on these walls too, and then rotate them a bit, so it's like a 10-pointed star. I don't know, I just thought it looked really nice. I'm just kind of going ahead and adding lights, so it's not everything is super dark. I'm going to sink these down at the bottom. Yeah, everything's looking very nice, I think. My opinion. Maybe that's just me. And now I'm adding some security cameras, because you don't want those vandals. I know you can turn off vandals in the sandbox mode settings, but I decide not to. There are some things I turn off, but I try to keep everything on most of the time. Alright, turn back to daytime. I'm gonna add some of those trash cans. I'm the trash can. Because people love to litter in this game for inexplicable reasons. I don't understand it. People can't go 10 feet without a trash can. So I'm gonna put them everywhere. Just kind of put them around here. In there, out here, because people need them, because they're horrible litterers. Add some more benches, so people can sit down, bunches o' benches. Because people are also needy about that, too. People are so needy. This is a zoo game, I'm caring about the animals' needs, not yours. And then we decide to bring back Golbert, our little mascot. I'm going to keep that scavenger hunt thing going. I'm going to put one up there, one on this light fixture up here. I'm going to make an object for Golbert locations. That way all the Golberts are just kind of at the same place. Put one on that rock formation. Put one up here. I decided to put one on this girder up here. I want you to have to search for him. You gotta look up for him. I think I put 5 or 6, I want to say. Just making sure I had all of them in the group there. I do. So I think we're nearing the end of the build here. I think we pretty much did everything that we did for this episode. We finished the visitor center, and next week we start the hub. You just put some trees here. I know I kind of went with a desert vibe in the front, and I think kind of it's interesting to kind of juxtapose the lush trees with this desert. I think it's an interesting kind of thing to do, so I do it. That way it hides the skyline a bit more, so you can't see further into the zoo than I would like you to. And then I put a tree here for that glass ceiling on the hallway, so there's something there to look at. But I think that's it, so I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everybody, Crystal Manta here. Thank you so much for watching the video. You guys are truly the best audiences a YouTuber could have. If you want to see more content like it, be sure to like and subscribe, and hit the little bell for notifications on when all my future videos come out. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.